The voice of an old man trembles through the shadows of Eldervar Keep. "There is one rule, my son's son. Never open the locked door in the basement at midnight." The words echo like a prayer, half warning, half confession. The camera glides through the ancient corridors, walls glistening with damp moss, banners long since faded to ghosts of red. Sir Aldrich of Eldervar stands by the hearth, firelight searing his scarred cheek. Young Rowan sits across from him, fingers restless on his wooden cup. Outside, the wind keens against stone, and thunder rolls over distant peaks. Between them, silence swells heavy with secrets. Rowan's curiosity is a living thing. Bright, dangerous, irresistible. Aldrich's gaze sinks toward the floor, as though he can still hear something breathing beneath it. Night deepens over Eldervar. Rowan lies in his chamber beneath a narrow window, moonlight striping his bed. The words of his grandfather throb in his skull like a curse. He hears a low vibration from beneath the floor, subtle as breathing. His pendant trembles against his chest. In the distance, a bell tolls midnight, though no bell has rung in Eldervar for years. He rises, barefoot, the cold stones biting. The camera lingers on his hesitant steps as he peers down the dark corridor, where the faint scent of iron drifts from below. Sir Aldrich cannot sleep. He kneels in the chapel below the keep, before the cracked effigy of Saint Dunstan. His whispers blur between prayer and apology. He recalls the night his own father opened the door, and what crawled forth before the seals were restored. His voice breaks as he begs the saint to guard Rowan from the same temptation. Behind him, Brother Corin watches from the shadows, rosary beads clutched white. The storm thickens. Rain hammers the battlements. Thunder rattles the banners. In the kitchen hall, the servants whisper stories of the locked door, of screams once heard when the moon bled red. One claims her grandmother saw a shadow walk through the stones. The camera tracks along their fearful faces, the flame light trembling. In an upper corridor, Rowan listens unseen, his pulse sensing with the thunder. As the storm wanes, Aldrich returns to his chamber. He stares at a small iron key hanging from a chain on the wall. The key sways, though no wind blows. He grips it once, mutters a vow to never touch it again, and sets it back. Down below, in the heart of the keep, a soft metallic click answers him, an unseen lock shifting in reply. Rowan, now half asleep, hears it echo through stone. The rule has been spoken, and something has begun to listen. Morning breaks over Eldervar, a dim gray dawn crawling through mist. The keep seems quieter than it should be. No sparrows at the battlements, no bells from the chapel. Rowan sits at the table, stirring untouched broth. His eyes are hollow from sleeplessness. Aldrich eats in silence, gaze fixed on nothing, as though he sees through walls. Between them, the air trembles with unspoken words. Brother Corin enters, robes damp with dew, carrying a tattered volume bound in black leather. He warns of the rite of warding and how it weakens with time. Some locks, he murmurs, were made by blood, not by hand. Aldrich's spoon freezes midair. Rowan's heart quickens. The forbidden is no longer just a tale. Later in the library, Rowan studies maps of the keep's lower halls. Dust rises in sunbeams like lost souls. He traces corridors with his fingertip. One leads to the sealed door. In the silence, he hears faint weeping. Turning, he glimpses his mother's reflection in the cracked window, Lady Ira's pale face framed by golden hair. Her eyes glisten with sorrow. "Do not go where I went," her voice whispers faintly, though her lips do not move. When Rowan looks again, the glass holds only his own reflection. Aldrich and Brother Corin walk the battlements as the sun fades. Corin pleads that the sigil stones beneath the keep must be renewed before the next full moon. Aldrich shakes his head. Too much blood was spilled the last time. Corin's eyes darken. Then your house will fall, he warns. For the curse feeds upon neglect. Far below in the courtyard, Rowan listens unseen, the word curse ringing in his ears like a summons. That night, Rowan steals through the keep, lantern in hand. The corridors stretch endlessly, their stones sweating with ancient moisture. Every step echoes like a heartbeat. He descends the spiral stair to the lowest passage, where cold mist curls along the floor. The locked door looms ahead, iron-bound, engraved with runes that shimmer faintly as he nears. His fingers hover over the sigils. Warmth pulses through them as though the door itself breathes. He whispers, "Mother, are you there?" A faint reply rises, his own name, spoken by another voice. In his chamber, Aldrich wakes to the sound of distant chanting. He rushes to his study, heart pounding, and sees that the iron key no longer hangs from its chain. It lies on the floor, gleaming faintly in candlelight. He knows then the ward has been touched. Thunder growls outside, low and endless. Aldrich whispers, "Forgive me, ancestors." It begins again. Meanwhile, Rowan stands before the door, key in hand, his reflection trembling in the iron bands. The camera closes on his face, fear and wonder intertwined, as he presses his ear to the wood and hears something whisper his future. The storm outside has not ceased, though the dawn threatens behind its veil of gray. Rowan stands before the basement door, the iron key trembling in his palm. His breath clouds the air. His heartbeat seems to echo off stone. A single candle burns beside him, its flame bending toward the door as though drawn by something unseen. Behind him, the spiral stair winds upward into darkness. His way back, already fading, he murmurs to himself, "If I do not see what lies beyond, I shall never rest." The key slides into the lock with a groan, older than memory. Metal grinds, dust falls, and with a click that sounds too much like a sigh, the seal of Eldervar begins to yield. The door opens to a narrow stairway spiraling into blackness. Rowan's lantern sputters as he descends, each step groaning beneath centuries of dust. Cobwebs hang like veils. Carved faces leer from the stone, worn by time, yet disturbingly human. The air thickens, heavy, metallic, alive. He pauses to steady his breath, senses pressing inward, as though the walls themselves listen. On one step he finds a faint mark, blood, dried and ancient. His lantern flickers, and for a heartbeat he sees another figure descending just ahead, his mother, Lady Era, moving soundlessly into the dark. At the bottom of the stair, a great crypt opens, a cathedral beneath the earth. Pillars carved with runes rise like petrified trees. Coffins line the walls, each bearing the sigil of Eldervar. Rowan steps into the echoing hall. The lanterns glow, trembling across sarcophagi. One coffin, larger than the rest, lies open. Within it rests a broken chain and a fragment of crimson cloth. He kneels, tracing the sigil with his fingers, then feels it pulse, faintly warm. The sound of whispering fills the crypt, hundreds of voices speaking his name in unison. Up above, Aldrich bursts into the chapel. Rain lashes through shattered glass. He calls for Brother Corin, shouting that the seal is broken. Corin rushes from the shadows, clutching a censer that trails black smoke. The boy has gone below. Aldrich gasps, and the blood wards weaken. Corin's eyes widened. He runs to fetch the ancient book, shouting prayers in a tongue that no longer belongs to men. The wind itself seems to answer in mockery. In the crypt, Rowan approaches the far wall where an iron door, smaller and older, bears a new sigil, one resembling his own pendant. The voices hush. He lifts the pendant, and it glows faintly, resonating with the symbol. His eyes widen in awe and terror. He understands now. His bloodline is both key and curse. The pendant turns hot in his hand. He screams as light bursts outward, filling the crypt with a searing brilliance that reveals faces pressed into every wall. Ancestors of Eldervar, silent, watching, weeping. The light fades. Rowan falls to his knees, trembling. A single whisper answers him from the dark. You have been expected. The brilliance fades into trembling darkness. Rowan gasps for breath, his hands still seared by the pendant's glow. Around him, the whispering returns. Quieter, more intimate, as though the voices have moved inside his mind. You have awakened what was bound, they murmur. The crypt's air thickens with scent of iron and old blood. His lantern guttered out. He sees faint red light pulsing from beneath the stone floor. The coffins tremble. Dust falls like ash. He hears footsteps, not his own, approaching from deeper shadows. From the far side of the hall steps Lady Ira, her form solid now, her eyes alight with sorrow. My son, she whispers, you should not have come. Rowan reaches for her, tears welling. His hand passes through her palm, but warmth lingers. Why were you taken? He asks, voice breaking. Ira's gaze drifts toward the pulsing stones. Your grandfather thought the curse could be tamed through sacrifice. My blood sealed the gate. For a time, her voice falters. Now, through you, it seeks freedom again. The walls echo with faint weeping, perhaps her own, perhaps the stones. Rowan shakes his head. Then I will end it. Ira steps back, fear flashing in her eyes. No. Ending it means becoming it. Above, Aldrich and brother Corin descend with torches, their faces drawn in terror. He has broken the gate, Aldrich mutters. Corin holds his censer high, the smoke curling into shapes, symbols of protection that unravel before touching the walls. It's too late, he breathes. It's awake. They hear the distant echo of Rowan's voice calling his mother's name. Aldrich grips his sword, eyes filled with tears. Then, I will save him, as I could not save her. The torches flicker violently as they reach the first level of the crypt. Something unseen breathes in the dark. Rowan stands in the heart of the crypt before the glowing sigil. Ira's form fades, her expression torn between love and dread. Remember the rule, she whispers, before vanishing into light. The ground splits. A black mist seeps upward, coiling like smoke through Rowan's legs. The air hums like 1,000 unseen wings. The red glow erupts into a storm of sparks, forming faces that twist and reform. The ancestors bound by curse, screaming in unison. Blood calls to blood, they chant. Rowan's pendant shatters, shards floating in the air like stars. His body stiffens, eyes turning pale gold as the whispering swells to a deafening roar. Aldrich and Corin reach the chamber entrance just as the eruption ceases. Rowan stands motionless, eyes aglow, the air vibrating with his breath. Rowan, Aldrich calls softly. His voice cracks. Rowan turns, his expression calm, almost serene. It's not me anymore, he says, voice layered with echoes. The runes across the crypt flare to life, painting the walls in firelight. The very stones groan, and the sigil on the floor begins to turn like a wheel. Corin raises his censer, chanting desperately. Rowan extends his hand, and the flame within it snuffs out with a thought. Grandfather, he whispers, it remembers you. The crypt falls silent, an unnatural stillness. The red light dims to a faint pulse beneath the stones. Rowan stands unmoving at its center, eyes dull gold, voice whispering words that belong to another age. Aldrich advances slowly, sword trembling in his grip. "Rowan," he pleads, "fight it. You are of my blood." Rowan's gaze drifts toward him, serene yet distant. That is why it listens. The ground shudders. Coffins split open as shadows crawl forth. Silhouettes of the Eldervar dead, faces twisted by centuries of despair. Corin drops to his knees, clutching his cross. It's judgment. He gasps. Aldrich raises his sword, the firelight trembling on the blade. "Then I'll face it as my fathers did." Rowan's voice deepens, layered with the echoes of many. "You sealed us beneath, and now we hunger for your name." Aldrich takes one step closer, tears streaming. "If my life will end it, take it, but spare him." The air vibrates with laughter not of this world. The shadows surge forward, then halt, surrounding Rowan in a perfect circle. Their voices merge. The blood must continue. Rowan's head tilts, eyes flickering between gold and blue. "It doesn't want death, grandfather," he murmurs. "It wants inheritance." Corin rises, chanting the lost rite from the Black Tome. The words burn his lips. Smoke seeps from his mouth. "By faith, I bind thee," he cries. For a moment, the air shivers. The glow flickers, and Rowan screams, clutching his head. The runes on the wall flare white, and an immense shadow stretches up behind him, forming a shape vaguely human yet vast and eyeless. Aldrich rushes forward, but the entity's gaze, though blind, throws him back with invisible force. Corin collapses, blood streaming from his eyes. The torchlight dies, replaced by the pulse of the sigil beneath their feet. Time fractures. Rowan sees visions not of now, but of then. His ancestors kneeling before the same door, blood dripping into its seams, binding the entity beneath with their own lives. He sees Lady Ira's face among them, pleading with Aldrich's younger self. "You cannot chain what was born from us." Her scream becomes the present wind. Rowan falls to his knees as the vision collapses into light. The entity speaks from everywhere and nowhere. "You are the gate, and through you I am remade." The midnight bell tolls, though no bell exists. Its echo shakes the crypt to its bones. The entity rises fully now, towering, cloaked in smoke and fragments of human faces. Aldrich staggers to his feet, clutching his sword in both hands. "Then take me," he roars, charging forward. The blade strikes the sigil. The impact bursts in a wave of light and screams. Rowan's body convulses, his voice splitting into two tones, his own and the entity's. "It is done," he whispers. The ground splits open, swallowing Aldrich in a rush of fire. Rowan stands above the chasm, face illuminated by both flame and sorrow. "Forgive me, grandfather," he murmurs, as the door seals itself once more, with him standing on the wrong side. Silence follows the collapse. Smoke rises from fissures in the stone. The crypt lies half in ruin, the air dense with ash and glowing embers. Rowan stands amidst the wreckage, face pale, eyes no longer gold, but a deep, dim amber. His body trembles as though something within fights to emerge. He looks down into the pit where Aldrich vanished. Only darkness remains. "It's quiet now," he whispers, "but I can still hear him." A faint echo answers Aldrich's voice from below. "Seal it." Before it breathes again, Rowan kneels, pressing his bloodied hand to the cracked sigil. It responds like living flesh, pulsing once, then stilling. Above, the storm has stopped, and yet thunder rolls within the walls. Brother Corin crawls from beneath the rubble, coughing blood. His robes are torn, his face streaked with soot. He sees Rowan kneeling before the sealed pit and staggers toward him, muttering prayers. The gate must be sanctified, he croaks, before it feeds again. Rowan turns his head slowly. His voice carries two tones. It already has. Corin stops, trembling. The boy's shadow stretches across the floor, too long, too fluid. In that shape, faces shimmer faintly. Aldrich, Ira, and others unknown. God preserve us, Corin whispers. Rowan looks at him with sudden clarity, eyes wet. It's not over, but I can still hold it. Above ground, dawn breaks across Eldervar. The castle stands silent, except for the faint hum resonating from beneath the earth. Servants emerge from hiding, pale and trembling, staring at the cracked stones that now pulse faintly like veins. The chapel bells, untouched for decades, toll once of their own accord. Ravens circle overhead, their cries echoing like lamentation. In the courtyard, Corin staggers upward, half mad, whispering that the keep still breathes. From the gatehouse, faint light spills. A warning or a promise, none can tell. In the crypt below, Rowan kneels alone, whispering into the silence. You are bound again, for now. The voice inside him replies, soft and tender. We are one blood, Rowan. You can no longer seal what you have become. He presses his forehead to the cold stone, tears mingling with blood. Then I'll hold it, he breathes. As long as I can. The faint glow beneath his hands spreads, encircling him in a halo of crimson light. For the first time, the whisper sounds like gratitude. Above, the people of Eldervar bury their lord in silence. No one speaks of what happened beneath. The keep's windows are boarded, its chapel sealed. Yet each midnight, a dim light flickers beneath the stones, and a whisper drifts through the corridors. Do not open the door. In the final shot, deep below the keep, Rowan sits against the wall beside the sealed gate, eyes open. No longer human, but not yet monster. He smiles faintly as if hearing a familiar lullaby. Sleep now, he whispers to the dark. I'll keep watch. And in the reflection of his eyes, the sigil beats once, like a heart still alive. Centuries passed and the name of Eldervar faded into wind and moss. The keep fell to ruin, its stones scattered like teeth along the hillside. Yet villagers from the valley still speak of nights when red light flickers beneath the earth. They tell of the boy who kept his vigil below, neither living nor lost, guarding a secret the world no longer dares to name. In taverns, they whisper the rule, though few remember why it was made. Never open the locked door in the basement at midnight. The words linger like a prayer learned in childhood, carried from one generation to the next. In the village chapel, an aged monk keeps a single book bound in iron, said to be written by a confessor named Corin long ago. He reads from it each winter solstice, his voice trembling with faith and doubt. The words tell of a lineage cursed by its own blood, of courage mistaken for disobedience, of a boy who sealed the dark by surrendering to its silence. When asked if it is truth or fable, the monk only smiles. All truths become legend, he says. All legends, in time, become warnings. Far below the ruin, unseen by any living soul, the crypt still stands. Dust lies thick upon the sigil, but beneath it a faint glow remains, steady, rhythmic, like the breath of something sleeping. Against the wall sits a figure in silence, neither shadow nor light, bound to his vigil. His features are soft with age, his eyes dim embers beneath the hood. He hums a tune, one his mother once sang by the hearth, and the sound echoes through the stone like a heartbeat remembered. At the stroke of midnight, the glow brightens once, then fades. Somewhere above, the wind carries a whisper through hollow towers. Sleep now, I'll keep watch. The villagers who hear it cross themselves, though none know why. A raven circles the ruins and lands upon a stone engraved with the sigil of Eldervar, now worn to dust. As dawn breaks, the bird takes flight toward the mountains, its wings catching the first light of day. Thus the tale of Eldervar ends, not with battle or curse, but with remembrance. Some say the door remains locked still, waiting for another hand to test its weight. Others claim the boy's spirit guards it forever. Neither saint nor sinner, only a promise kept. And so the rule endures, passed from tongue to tongue, house to house, until it becomes no more than a superstition murmured at bedtime. My grandfather told me one rule. The final words fade into echo. Never open the locked door in the basement at midnight.